Okay guys, we have one more section of our video. Before we get started, I do want to talk about when you're solving algebraically, remember to think opposites. So when I think the opposites, I have to think of the opposites. So addition, the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition. Those are opposites of each other. The opposite of multiplication is division. Those are opposites of each other. But you also need to think of the opposite of positive being negative. And that might show up when it's like -7 plus x, because even though it's an addition problem, you had -7, so the opposite of -7 would be +7. I'm going to work out a couple of these. Guys, it is completely up to you whether or not you want to model it or you do algebraic. I do not care. Since a lot of these have decimals with it and they're fairly large numbers, I would tell you just to go ahead and do it algebraically, but it's completely up to you how you want to solve this. But I do want to show you a couple of them algebraically. So we're going to start off with this one right here, that x divided by 8 is equal to 14. If you will remember that we have to take our x and we're splitting it into 8 separate pieces. And out of all these pieces, they're all 14 big, like they contain 14 each. Because what happened is once I took a big number and I divided it into 8 groups, and now I have 14 in each group, well, how many people did I, or how many things did I start out with? That's where that comes from. And so 14 times 8, so I have 8 groups of 14. 8 times 14 is, or 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So x should equal 112. Now, if I do this algebraically, so if I go ahead and just do it algebraically, well, I have 8x divided by 8 equals 14. If I multiply by 8 on both sides, 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times x is x. 14 times 8, I've already done it, is 112. That's what I got here. It's what I got there. And if I took 112 and divided it by 8, I would get 14. So that is my answer. And then I want to show you this one right here. When we're solving algebraically, we think opposites. What's the opposite of subtracting 10.6 would be adding 10.6. And if I add 10.6 on one side, I have to add it on the other side. This becomes a 0 pair. I'm left with x. 6 plus 9 is 15. Because remember, we do have to line up our decimals when we're adding. 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. So my answer is 27.5. And then on, let's see. On this one, algebraically, we would divide by 2.1 on this side, which means I have to divide by 2.1 on that side. So when I divide 23.1 divided by 2.1, I cannot have a decimal on the outside, so I do have to move it. 21 goes into 23 one time, which is 21. 3 minus 1 is 2. And I bring down my 4. 21 goes into 24 one time, which is 21. So I'm left with 3. And then I have to add a 0, bring it down. 21 goes into 30. Oh, that was supposed to be a 1. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I put a 4, but it's a 1. It's right there as a 1. It's my fault. So when I bring down my 1, 21 goes into 21 one time, and that's 0. So my answer is that x is equal to 11. I hope this helps out. If you have any more questions, my advice to you would be to come to tutorials Monday morning. Tuesday morning, you can go to either Miss Young or Miss Yoon. No, you can go to Miss Yoon or Miss Akers. Wednesday morning, you can go to Miss Young or Miss Yoon. Those are the 3 days that we're taking semester exams. I am going to stay after school Tuesday if you need any makeup work or anything like that done. And I hope you have a good week.